Yo, welcome to the Cool Kids Table. I'm here with my friend Stanj, who's an artist, actor, model, dancer, and shapeshifter.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cool Kids Table. You're a cool kid now. How do you feel?
Yeah, I guess I feel pretty cool.
You feel pretty cool.
For having me.
Absolutely. No, we met on a photo shoot a little while ago. We'd never met before. So this is actually our second time meeting, which is why I wanted to have you on here. Because the last guest I had, I knew really well. So I thought it'd be interesting to open up a whole new perspective of somebody that I don't know at all.
Wow. Yeah. It kind of
Can you bring this just
does feel like I know you though.
I know, right? We talked about that when we met.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
For sure.
What's up?
What's good? So what I like to talk about on the Cool Kids Table is like, what makes you tick? What makes you excited to wake up?
Oh, damn. What makes me tick? What makes me excited to wake up? That's such a good fucking question. Whoa. I don't think I've been asked that question recently. What makes me wake up? Coffee.
Don't we all?
The smell of coffee.
Yeah.
I need a good cup.
A good cup of, like, what's your favorite kind of coffee?
Favorite kind of coffee?
Well, like, what would you prefer?
Honestly, I'm pretty simple. I'm a simplistic woman.
Mm-hmm.
I like it black. I like a dark roast.
You got dark roast.
I don't really like the light acidic.
Mm-hmm.
It just like doesn't sit well for me.
Yeah.
I like it black. If I'm getting fancy though, hold on.
Hey, black coffee is bomb.
I mean, I like to get it fancy. Fancy is cinnamon and honey. Still black.
From where?
I make it at home. I got a little pour over. It's
You got a pour over?
It's so cute and it feels homey and that's what I like waking up to. I'm like, oh, like I'm gonna make this coffee. Then I write. What wakes me up? Yeah. I mean, you know what's funny?
What?
This is old. This is old me, and I should bring it back. But you just made me realize this.
I would like to hear, like, what do you mean by old you? Like,
old me as in
like Sandra version 1?
Version 1, and she was such a smart version of myself, but she's still me. But I don't know why I dropped it. I used to go through my life like week by week just to keep me going. So if I had a project coming up in a week, I'd be like, well, I gotta keep going for that day. That day is special. I'm excited. Or like, yeah, a month out, it'd be something. And I'm like, well, I'm super excited for that. And that like kept my gears going.
Yeah. Life is kind of strange that way.
Yeah.
It's like you day by day, but like you have one thing that you really need to get accomplished. And then you reach that day and it's like, okay, well, now what? You know what I'm saying?
Now what? And that's why you got to keep going. You're like, even if it's a month out, you're like, this is exciting.
It's very exciting.
I'm waiting.
I
always do that. I need a watch.
But you don't wear a watch.
No, I don't. This has always been a thing.
That you look. You should get it tattooed.
I should get a watch, but the thing is, I don't think I'd do it if I had a watch.
You wouldn't.
I like living in that fake world. Yeah.
That's really interesting. Do you do that with anything else in your life?
Living in a fake world? A fake real world.
We're going down a deep rabbit hole right now.
Do I do anything else? No, I don't know. I'm very...
Go with the flow. That's why I brought you on the Cool Kids Table, because I felt like that. You know, because when I met you through Ben. And that's why he was just like, you need to go shoot with this girl because she does all this weird stuff on set. And like, it's what he was saying, like, because he was showing me your pictures and it was just like you pose all these really strange, interesting poses compared to a lot of other models that don't really do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like when we were doing this, you climbed a tree, there was cardboard up there.
Somebody's home was up there.
That we pulled down.
Yeah. I like, what is that? The three bears. I Goldilocks.
You Goldilocks?
Their tree.
There was no porridge, though, unfortunately.
That's fine. I don't think I want that porridge.
Not even with some brown sugar?
Not that one. Not that tree porridge. I don't know what was under that house, under that bed.
Or who has laid there before.
Who lay there? I don't know. Who goes there? Who lay there?
Who goes there?
It's a parable.
A parable of the lost son? Yep. The lost cardboard in the tree.
The lost cardboard in the tree. It can be whatever you want it to be.
Are we rhyming?
Let's not.
So I want to hear more about this. We were a little bit before we got on the show, you were telling me about how you met this person and that you felt like you had that connection right off the bat. And we had that as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about that. I think that's really interesting.
It is really interesting. I think I've, a couple of people in my life are kind of like that, but this one was pretty interesting to me because, like I was saying, like, met through just a random performance of other people that I was supporting.
Yeah.
And yeah, just like, it's like a knowing that you have, like you watch someone. I even feel like I read this thing before we came in here, like, like we always talk about soulmates.
Yeah.
Or like other forms of soulmates. Like I believe that this is a type of like soulmate twin flame
absolutely.
type of thing. But yeah, just watching her perform was like a mirror effect in a way that, yeah.
And then the person that she's talking about is a dancer.
Oh yeah. This is my friend, Jen Rose.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
She's just fantastic. And we're talking about her because I just left a preview of hers. And every time she just amazes me. And I feel like, you got to talk about her. You got to talk about the great people in your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're incredible. But yeah, I was just watching her perform. And I felt a feeling of almost like we checked in. It was like a check-in.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't
and you
even
had
know
met her for the first time.
I had never met her. I didn't even meet her at that performance. I had just remembered her. And
maybe you guys in a past life.
We talk about that a lot. And then we like just connected through social media like we do nowadays. And I would watch her stuff. She'd watch mine. But I think one day she just messaged me. And it was so fun. It's almost like you have like the crushes. Like you're like that feeling you get like when you get excited with someone. But this was just like, obviously like it's platonic. It's like a sister meeting. And yeah, she was like, I feel like we should move together. Your movement inspires me. I don't remember exactly what was said, but it was on the sorts of, she was like, I hope this doesn't sound crazy, but I feel like we are supposed to meet. And the whole time I'd been thinking that. I was like, girl, this is not crazy. This is like, this makes a lot of sense.
She knew it too.
Well, that's how I like to navigate my life, and that's how she navigates hers. So, and then we just hung out, and yeah, we looked the same a bit. Got a little like, what is this? People call this a deer nose.
A deer nose.
A deer nose.
I've never heard of that before.
Me neither, but I like it. I'll stay by it. She's got that nose thing. I don't know, something about her. Like someone said today, like split atoms. Like that's what we.
Oh, that's a really interesting
Atoms
perspective
split
of the same.
Of
molecule.
the same, molecule. That's that.
And well, you said earlier that you felt like she was a mirror almost, or something along those lines.
She mirrored me, yeah, which I guess makes sense, like why the atom would split. Yeah, it's such weird prophetic meanings.
Opposites, what is that? Opposites repel each other, or like, what is the
opposites
charge?
attract?
Opposites attract, but similar.
Similar
I guess
things.
That analogy doesn't work at all.
I don't even. Honestly, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You find what you find. I've come to find now as I get older, like I'm fucking old.
Hey, we all feel old at our age. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. As I get older, I come to find that opposites do attract, but those aren't the right ones. You actually need similarities in order to coexist in a certain way.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But those opposite traits are important.
Opposite traits are important. Yeah, they keep things exciting.
You can't ever be like friends, platonic, or like romantic with anybody that's like
it's
not.
It's the ebb and flow.
Yeah.
The ebb and flow. You gotta have flow too. Can't just ebb. Who the fuck wants to just ebb?
But like you did say something really interesting that I liked was you live your life through the way of, people that you felt like you've met before. Like that's how you guide yourself through life. And I think that was interesting.
Yeah. You kind of feel it though.
Yeah.
You feel it anyways. Like if you meet people from people, and it keeps going down a cycle, then automatically it's going to revolve that way. Like that's going to happen for you because you're sharing an energy with someone and you leave behind some of yourself. So then when someone sees this and they're in tune with this other person, like it's just like you take and then you give, you take and then you give. So you just leave yourself with so many different people that it becomes just like this type of attraction. So it makes sense why it feels like we've met before. Like all of these people in my life, I feel like I've just like met them before and I'm just checkpointing.
That's really, really interesting. But it takes one person to, you were saying that circle.
Yeah,
but it's that first person that I think is...
It's like the mirror. It's a ripple effect. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you meant by the mirror.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Like it's endless.
It's
endless.
Is that
what you... Okay.
Like a ripple effect. Like you take a little visual of a puddle and you put your frequencies on it and it ripples and it'll go and it could create whatever it wants to create.
Yeah.
Mass destruction if you would like. You want to get fancy.
Yeah.
Or like a type of movement that someone needed, or just like it just goes and it's out of your control at that point and you don't know what else it's gonna do. You have no idea, but it always comes back, right? Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, I think, meeting with people like that you feel are very similar. Like I live my life kind of the same way where things like I find or lose, like belongings, I think are the same way. Like if I find something that like I need, I talked about this on the last podcast. Whenever, I don't know if you experienced this in Los Angeles, but whenever I need something like a chair or a table, I find it on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yes.
Did we talk about this?
We didn't, but that's so fucking true. It's like with meeting people.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a music festival?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're on some other substance.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
You can say it.
When you're fucked up and you're just with this like group of people, and some of them you've never met, and maybe just a few, like a handful that you know really well.
Yeah.
They can disperse in the crowd. And somehow just the thought of it, like you'll find them. You don't need your phone. You don't need anything. It comes back.
Oh, it's like the universe.
It's just
at that
law
festival.
of attraction.
Oh, yeah.
It's really just synchronicity, law of attraction.
Because all those people that go to music festivals, people that do that are all on that same frequency.
Yeah.
Because music is frequency. So if you're going there, you're all experienced that wavelength for not so long, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it keeps, even then, God, my mind is so...
foggy.
Not foggy. I see so many different ways that I could talk about topics endlessly.
That's why I have you on the table.
Have me on the table.
No.
Serving sponge this evening. Like...
What kind of wine do you go with?
What kind of wine do I go with? Le Orange, apparently. Lestonja Le Orange. Yeah, this is good. Whatever company this is, they did a good job. What is this? Mad Med? Huh.
Mad Med. Nice.
That's a good thing. Right. Yeah, life is pretty crazy. That's funny that you said that about yourself. You come to find what you need on the streets of LA.
Oh yeah, no, and it comes with everything in life. Like I think like if I get like a cool necklace or something and it breaks, like that's meant that energy. I'm done with that energy.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need it anymore. It was in my life for a certain point, for a reason, to have that energy for a little while, and then it breaks. And
yeah, we don't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah, you can't cry over spilled milk. I think the same thing goes with friendships and relationships too. People come into your life for a certain reason, for a certain amount of time, and you learn a shit ton, and then when it's up. But I think it's interesting with objects because I don't know.
I think we've talked about this before. Objects. I think that's the topic in my life right now.
It's objects.
I had someone, I don't know about you, but I am a big fan of trinkets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, me too.
And objects.
Oh, yeah.
I say it till this day, like this nose ring that I have is the longest successful, dependent relationship that I've ever had. Like this nose piercing, like anytime it comes out or if it like falls out, it's the scariest thing to me. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
You gotta put it back in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm less attached to it at this point. Like, I'll take it out and put it back in.
But if you lost it, would you be heartbroken?
Not anymore. But back in the day, like, what is it that I have this thing with lighters.
Lighters?
Lighters. But it's not even about the object. It's about, like, who gave it to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that things have history. It's carried in the frequency of that object.
Yeah, like I think that's the main reason why I like thrifting and secondhand clothing. Like, I've been very blessed to have friends who love items like me and pass it down to me, and I treasure it. I look the best in someone else's dress.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is that you need to claim that saying right now? I look the best in someone else's dress.
I do, because they have their story on it, and I like to carry their story. Any department clothing, it's like it's not worn in. It's shit.
It's just like if you're gonna go furnish your entire house at IKEA, you're gonna walk into that house and it's gonna feel like an Apple store.
That's the story. Yeah. Where's your story, man? Where's your life?
But if you like find something on the side of the road,
So much.
you have no idea where that was.
No, it could be haunted, dude.
Do you have any haunted objects?
I have a story.
You got a story
about random chairs that I found in LA.
Okay.
Oh fuck! So
We'll pull up a seat. That's the motto of this podcast, by the way. Pull it up.
I'm pulling it up. So, my boyfriend and I, this one time, we had been between places that we were living, and a good friend of ours had offered up his house for a month because he was out of town filming something.
Yeah.
Great friend, by the way. But we had, we were like in the process of trying to find a place and, daydreaming about things that we want to put in it. And we went to this thrift store. It's in Glendale. It's like just a regular thrift store. But they had this beautiful chair. Let me describe it to you, because you got to know. It was like, it almost looked like a Little Mermaid type of like 1920s seashell.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
That's
it was
cool.
like it was like a aqua color, like aqua teal type of thing. Seafoam green.
I'd say that's the best color.
In the seafoam green, it was.
That color carries a lot of energy off the bat, just being that color.
Yeah, honestly, like, and my eyes were like, let me find it. I wanted it. It was $20. $20. The only thing wrong with it was that it had this like weird like stain on it, and I had joked about it being blood or something, but it wasn't. It came off easily. But we bring it back to our buddy's house.
That doesn't mean it wasn't blood, is the thing.
It came off so easily. No, blood.
I'm kidding.
It was like syrup or sap or something.
Someone
weird.
enjoyed some pancakes on that chair before you got it.
I would. I've shared some
On many of your seats, you've shared some good pancakes.
On many of my seats, I've had that maple syrup drip.
Yeah.
That's how
maple syrup drip. Boy, you are got some good sayings today.
That's how you know that you're comfy.
Maple syrup drip on your butter bench. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
What other breakfast food chairs? Never mind. Go ahead.
All of them.
All of them.
I don't know. Anyways, we bring it back to the house because we're keeping our belongings there, but storing it. And I honestly believe that this house had energy in it before anything had happened, but we blame it on the chair. Oh,
really?
Yeah, we blame it on the chair because everything started happening the minute that we saged the chair. I don't know. Anything new? So this is the thing. I do love other people's clothing.
Yeah.
I don't wash it. I should.
Oh.
I don't wash before I wear. You know what I do, though? Maybe it makes me a witchy LA woman, but I sage before I wear.
That's a whole nother version of washing something.
Yeah, I cleanse, before I put on.
That's the LA cleanse. That's the LA.
Sometimes I'll wash it if it's it feels
if
weird.
it's got syrup on it.
Yeah. It's got that maple drip. You got to wash that ish. But yeah, the weirdest things started happening as soon as we had saged the chair to cleanse it.
Yeah.
I had been in this room, and Sam, boyfriend, was in the kitchen, and our friend had an Alexa, but Alexas creep me out anyways.
Yeah.
Technology kind of call me an old soul, but technology freaks me out.
It's always listening.
Bit.
It's always listening.
Yeah, so I made sure I was like, Alexa, volume of 1. Like, I was like, no. Like, why did I speak that into the mic as if it wouldn't hear me? What's wrong with
that
me?
Alexa's lighting up at home.
Alexa. There's like ASMR now. Alexa. Anyways, yeah, so it had been muted, but this is so creepy. Randomly, I would say about like an hour later, at the volume of 10, Alexa starts playing a song. Do you want to know what song it was?
Oh, boy.
Through the window, you know, Tiny Tim.
That's so creepy.
And I had this moment. It's funny because, you know, when things are, I've always been receptive toward that type of world, actually. I can tell you countless of ghost stories and things that have happened to me as a kid and still. But you just know when it's like not right. Like,
yeah, you
there's
feel
a
like
difference.
that energy in the room changes completely.
There's a difference between being scared and scaring yourself, and a difference between like everything changes.
Oh, yeah.
And you're in that environment.
Because there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
No. I start like yelling. I'm like, babe, turn it off. He's like, what the fuck, did you turn that on? I'm like, no. So that one weird thing. Another weird thing that happened, like literally a couple of minutes after that, he has all these electronical things that are, they could be powered by Alexa, but it's just like the sweeper on the ground, it started going out of control. Like, we were talking in the kitchen about like what had just happened, and
the robot vacuum thing,
it was off. Like,
well, that spirits do
the battery
go through that.
So I think that's what we were thinking. This spirit or whatever it is.
It's going into all your electronics.
It wasn't ours. It was his. So we were freaking out about it because we couldn't get it to stop.
Yeah.
It was just running itself into the wall, and we were like, "What the fuck is happening?" We called our friend, and we were like, "What are you doing? You're playing a joke on us," because he couldn't control some things through his phone, but he had been in a meeting the whole time. Like, things were like distracting for him. So.
And how long did these things start happening after you brought that chair home?
It was the day.
The day of.
Which is why we wanted to associate it with this chair. Dude, the story goes creepier. We finally get a place, and we bring it to our house. And I read something about cats. Cats like chairs, right?
Oh, yeah.
But our cat really loved this chair. We have other chairs. It was not attracted to any other chair. I read something about how cats or some animals are receptive to that type of energy. And
cats above all.
Would hate it. So they want it gone. She destroyed this chair. The last bit of it before I got rid of this chair, just letting you know.
Okay.
But
how long was this chair in your life?
A couple of months. Couple of months. I loved it. I thought it was cute. It was a find, you know. Like
it was a find. I'll deal with some paranormal activity for a little while.
But who knows if it really was the chair. But the last thing that happened to me before this chair had, been sent away out of our lives, vanished.
It vanished?
No. What is it called when off with their head?
Oh, decapitated.
No. It was shunned away. We shunned it away is what I'm looking for. But I was waking up every night for like a couple of nights in a row. I would say at least a week at the same time, and weird things would happen. So the first time I woke up, it was between the time of 3 to 5 a.m. And I don't know why I can't remember the time now, but it was such a strange time. It was like, honestly, it was like 5:35 a.m., something strange like that. Every night, like clockwork. The first night I woke up, I'm just like wide awake, staring, and my cat is staring back at me. But our cat sleeps with us. Like, she sleeps through the night.
Yeah,
she's
but
a pretty good
was
cat.
it like a dead stare?
She was like,
she was trying to tell you something's up.
Bitch,
wake the fuck up.
Yeah. And that was weird. And then I was still drowsy, so I convinced myself to go back to bed.
Yeah.
Didn't think anything of it. The second night this happens, I wake up. I'm just like, I wake up and I'm staring into our kitchen, and our kitchen is just like dead, silent, dark. And I don't know. It was just weird. And I was like, yeah, maybe it's just because I did it the night before. So I'm going to do it again this night, right? Like, whatever. Third night, I was excited because I thought I was going to sleep through. Like, I knew it. I was like, I'm going to sleep through the night. I get woken up by Sam. So Sam has this thing where he sleep talks.
Yeah.
I used to keep a log. I have it in my phone.
Awesome.
I have notes in my phone of like the things that he would say and be like, babe, you said this last night. It's pretty fucking weird. But I thought it was fun. But this time he woke me up, and the way that he woke me up was I actually woke up and he was staring at me himself. Like our bed is pretty flat. It was on the floor at this point. He wakes up and it's just like dead stare at me. And I'm like,
does he have any recollection of this?
Not really, no. Like he'll remember the way that it works. He like remembers some things, but he doesn't remember that.
But was he
no, he wasn't conscious, but he was conscious. So his eyes were wide open, staring at me. He goes. I'm like, what? You're freaking me out. He's like, babe, look over there. And like points into the kitchen. And there's like nothing in the kitchen. It's just like pitch black. Oh,
and I'm like, that would freak
what is the creepiest thing to say? Like, babe, look over there.
In the dark?
Yeah,
down a dark doorway is what I'm picturing in my mind.
Yeah, that's kind of the essence it gave. It's not a deep kitchen, but pitch blackness can create.
Oh, but then you can see just that little bit of detail, but that
was it. I had it. I was like, you know what? It's the chair.
Now, did this stuff stop after you got rid of the chair?
Yeah, it did.
Interesting.
Everything was fine. So maybe it was the chair. Maybe it was like old Gladys,
Someone's grandmother came and stayed with you for a little while.
Gladys was not happy that her chair was not positioned right. We didn't feng shui enough for her. We needed more maple drip.
Yeah, you needed... She wanted French toast instead of pancakes. You got it wrong.
It was But that was a really long story, but thanks for
that was great. I wish we would have had this episode on Halloween.
I'm a pretty creepy gal, I guess.
No, that's something about you. You brought that to the Cool Kids table.
It's still creepy. What is it? Like the Christmas is creepy.
Yeah, Christmas is very creepy.
There's a lot of
I'm tired
films.
of going to Goodwill and seeing all the Santa Claus shit. There's nothing creepier than Goodwill Santas.
Nothing's creepier. I had this thing when I was a kid. This like gnome. God, we could talk about so many stories.
That's what we're here for. Let it out.
Speaking of Christmas, so when I was a kid, Christmases would come around and everyone, the whole group would get great presents.
Yeah.
All together, like concert tickets, like all of this and that.
Yeah.
And, I'd get like the candy or the Christmas tree, like ornament.
Like the last thing, you know what I mean?
One year I had gotten this gnome, like the Santa gnome, and you pressed it and it would sing a song, like the Kris Kringle song. I don't know.
I'm curious what went through their head to think.
I don't know. But everyone got what was it? Like Chris Brown tickets.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh man, you were hurt. I can feel that energy. You were hurt that year.
I might have not healed from it. No, I'm kidding. No, I
mean, that would cause trauma.
I do. I love my family. I do love my family. But that was to keep me humble. Mm-hmm. Those experiences humbled my ass.
Oh no, I have an experience like this too.
100%.
Man, there was a Christmas. So every Christmas we'd go over to my grandmother's house in the morning. And we had a big family. I think there was like 13, 14 cousins. Because my grandparents had 5 kids. So then they all, and we were really close. We would always go over there. And I'll never forget this one year. I go over there and I have the biggest box in the room.
Yeah.
That's my present.
Oh, you're so excited.
And I'm stoked. I can't wait. Grandma, I can't wait to open this. And
it's that maple drip.
It's that maple drip. Yes, it is. And I open it and my other cousin's got a pretty big box too. And there's all the presents around. I'm just okay, that's as a kid, you think presents, the biggest present's the best one for sure.
The best. Yeah, definitely.
And little did I know, my dad had told my grandma what to get me for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And I open it and it's a desk. And I was 10.
You didn't treasure it, did you?
No, because my cousin opened Rock Band 3
Oh.
after me.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That would break my heart.
I still
too.
remember that. Like, that was a moment of just like, okay.
It's funny because nowadays that desk would be everything.
Oh, yeah.
You're like,
I wish I had that fucking desk.
Fuck yeah. But at 10, you're like, I just want to play.
I just want Rock Band. Yeah.
I just want, when I was a young boy on the guitar.
My
that's all I
father,
want, like.
he told my grandma to give me a desk for Christmas.
That's exactly the way that it goes. Whoa. So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Let me interview you. Were you a bad kid or a good kid during the Christmas holidays?
I was a suck up. But like a bad kid around Christmas? No, I wasn't.
I was a rebel.
You were a rebel. So
a rebel in the way I liked excitement, like I liked adrenaline and as the only kid.
You always defied your parents, huh?
No, I didn't defy them. I just would meet middle.
Meet middle?
Meet middle as in I would protect them, but I would do my thing. So like not lie. Okay.
You need to elaborate.
What I mean by being naughty is I was a good kid. I was. I followed the rules and did what I loved my parents. But every year for Christmas, and I was like the last one to believe in Santa. Yeah. I really was. But every year for Christmas, the night before, I feel so ashamed for saying this
you go
out loud. I would look at everything. And the way that I would look at everything, this was a test for me to know.
This is what you meant if I was naughty or nice.
Yes, to know. I was trying to get more out of you, but you didn't go.
Oh no, I definitely did my fair share.
To know if Santa was real. I was like, these people are crazy. They're making me think this guy's real. What the fuck? Mm-hmm. So I would, and I ruined it for me. I really did. But I would go under the Christmas tree and. I would touch around, feel around, do my senses, and you would kind of know what was there and what wasn't, and nothing was new the day before. Yeah. And they were really good at putting the new thing. This year they didn't. They did not put the new thing. And I really messed it up for myself because instead of sensory, I decided to go all the way. I ripped out a tiny piece of the wrapping paper to see the color and the packaging. And then I would tape it up. So
Holy
that
crap.
Morning,
you were full detective,
dude.
On Christmas.
You know what? I am. I need all the information. I'm chill.
So you needed to know for sure if there's a fat man coming in your house at night. I needed
information. Don't. I went full Harriet the Spy. I literally.
Oh, you did.
And then I taped it back up, as if nothing ever happened. And I ruined it for me though. I did. My dad also ruined it for me. I think we didn't grow up with a lot of money at all. We were pretty we were pretty poor. Mm-hmm. So one year the holiday season was coming up and my parents just couldn't. And I used to go for bike rides with my dad. That was my favorite thing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I loved bike riding with my dad. So we went on our normal bike ride and he broke it to me. He was like, I think the last thing that I believed in was the Three Kings. Mm-hmm. So shout out to Puerto Ricans if you still celebrate Three Kings Day, January 6th. It's a pretty fun day. But yeah, he broke it to me before Christmas. We were riding a bike and he was like, should we just stopped? And I probably had an attitude or something and he couldn't take it. And he was like, Santa's not real, right?
Oh, he just dropped that bomb on you.
Dropped it. He was like, the tooth fairy's not real either.
Oh,
Easter Bunny.
He was going for the jab.
He jabbed me. I remember riding my bike home. I was so sad. And I wasn't sad at the fact I could have put it together. I kind of knew none of those things were real.
You did so much detective work. I hope you took notes. And
I did. It was the fact of the matter that, I was holding on because they were holding on. That was our own mystic together. We had a secret together. Mm-hmm. It was fun. Because they did it because they loved me. Yeah. So that jab.
Well, that's the beautiful part of Christmas. That's what I love about it is the family.
Yeah.
It's the love that now that I look back at it, I didn't really give a shit what I got. I would always, It was the love. I look back at that and I see my parents, my dad really cared. you know?
Yeah, I was actually really grateful for everything that I got because I didn't get a lot. So I think that's probably why items are very special to me because when I get something, I like take care of it.
Absolutely.
What is that saying? They're like, you treat others how you treat the things that you own.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you got to be grateful for everything that you have.
Yeah, definitely. And so, yeah, I love that lighter that my dad gave me that I keep.
Back to the objects.
And I'll ride it to the last flame.
There's something really nice about that, using something till the very last.
Yeah.
Like a lighter
like
or a pen.
Dude, my boots.
Dude, my Converse. Oh,
I will ride a shoe out. It's like, yeah, I'll ride a shoe out until its last breath. Because it's been with you thus far. Those boots were made for walking. And they've
got soul.
They've got soul, baby. Maybe not by the end. But
you wear the soul out of your shoes.
Yeah. The soul disappears. Yeah, I ride it till its last breath for sure. There's something kind of beautiful about that.
I think there is.
Yeah.
I never understood why a lot of people own a ton of shoes. I'm very simple and minimalist. Like I don't need a ton of stuff, but like there's something nice about just using the hell out of something and then not people, of course, but
no, yeah, that's different. Using the hell out of a shoe, it's equipped for that.
It is equipped for that.
Yeah, you're gonna use it because you love it.
For sure.
It sounds so bad. And I'm sure people will get what that means. But yeah. Christmas.
Christmas,
What's your favorite Christmas song?
Honestly, I like the Mariah Carey song. Not going to lie.
Oh,
that's a hot take.
It's your year.
She thawed already.
It's your year.
She thaws before Thanksgiving every year.
She's honestly...
She must make so much money off that song.
At the end of her days, that song's going to carry on forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to play in a weird little... Before, like, technology's taking over, obviously, at this moment. Slowly but surely. And it's going to be playing in, like, some vintage, old, like, bathroom radio. Like, someone just has, like, one of those, like, tiny things, and it's, like, going to be muffled. It's like, for Christmas. And you, like, get no reception.
Yeah, and the thing's barely putting that sound out.
It's barely putting the sound out, but she's going to have it till the end of her days.
Till the end of actual time. Not just her days. Till the end of the universe. That song is going to be still playing.
That's crazy to think about. The legacy. Who knew that her legacy would be
that song?
A Christmas song. Wow. It's not a bad one.
It's not bad. What's your favorite Christmas song?
Yeah, of course you're going to ask.
Well, you brought it up.
I know, right? So it's funny. My favorite Christmas song is Last Christmas.
Oh, that's not bad.
But not the original version. There's a Florence and the Machine version that's live.
Oh, really?
You can only find it on YouTube.
Oh, some of the best music is found on YouTube.
It's fantastic. I recommend listening to it.
You have to send me
Christmas.
the link. And we can put the link in the description of this
It's
video.
actually quite magnificent. I don't know. I love something about Florence. Like, she really is transcendent. She's forever. Speaking of forever, she is forever. She's one of those artists. Yeah, I don't know. I've still have yet to see her in concert.
What's your next concert?
What's my next concert? I really want to see Meshuggah. I want to see Meshuggah live. And then I want to see... That's hard. I don't go to many concerts. I go to shows like local bands and friends of mine, but I haven't been to many concerts. My first concert wasn't until I was like old.
Who was your first concert? That's a better question.
Who was my first concert? This is funny. I was young for this one, but it was like a special ticket thing. First and last. My dad had gotten these special tickets to go see like some type of festival thing because I'm from Nashville.
Yeah.
And he worked at the Opryland Hotel, so it was like sponsored by. It was Pink.
No way.
It was Pink, but I actually the first artist that I had ever seen live, because he opened for her. Actually, I don't remember if she opened for him or he opened for her, but I do remember it being Lenny Kravitz.
No way.
American Woman.
That's
Stay
epic.
away
What an
from
epic
me.
first concert.
He was great. I really enjoyed it. It was random. None of it collabed. It was just some type of festival being.
Yeah.
But my
They were
cousins,
just all there.
I didn't get to stay long because my cousins wanted to leave. And, majority rules. There's more of them than there was me.
Yeah. Because you just brought your gnome to that concert. They had their better Christmas presents at that concert.
They'll never hear this. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's funny.
The
My
live-
first concert
was
was
it?
Panic at the Disco.
Wow.
Yeah, my girlfriend in college bought me the tickets. And it was my first, I'd never been to a concert and she just knew I liked it. And it was a pretty good show. Saint Motel opened for them. And
That's
I think Saint Motel and Mr. Wives opened.
That's a crazy
It was
concert.
a good ass
That's
concert.
actually a really
Yeah,
good
it was
concert.
a great concert.
I feel ashamed. The second concert that I ever went to was Metro Station. Throw it back. Middle school life. But yeah, here's a good one. What's the first movie that you've ever seen in theaters?
Ever seen?
Yeah, that
That's
you
back
remember
when
seeing.
I was a kid.
Do you remember?
Probably the SpongeBob movie.
Oh, that would be a good one.
I don't really
Sounds
like the movie
amazing.
theater. Me and my mom would go a lot when I was a kid. A lot of Disney movies. I don't know. The earliest memory I have in a theater was with my best friend, and we went and saw that. We were probably like 5 or 6 when that came out.
Yeah, cool.
What's your first movie in a movie
SpongeBob.
theater?
I want to believe it was. I wish I could track it back. I keep saying it's Titanic. So there was a thing that happened in my elementary school. We went for a field trip, and there was IMAX had just come out.
It's kind of a dark movie to show elementary school kids.
I know. I remember we had to sign a waiver or something, and
A permission slip to go see the Titanic.
it was IMAX had just come out.
Oh, you saw that in IMAX?
I know that was probably not a good thing to.
To send elementary
To be
school
honest,
kids.
no, I don't. I disagree. It opened up the realm of film for me.
Oh no, I guess from that standpoint,
I don't think it was bad. Yeah, I was so young that I honestly don't remember how explicit it was.
it's really not explicit. I was just thinking seeing all these people die at the end.
Yeah,
is a
but
lot.
for some reason, it didn't stick with me in that way. The only thing that stuck with me was the exploration part. Because in the film, in the beginning, before they go to the actual story, it has that whole team that explores. And they go underwater. All of that was so fantastic.
Oh, that was all so cool.
The cinematography of it blew my mind. As an elementary school kid, 3rd or 4th grade, that. I mean, it was only 3rd and 4th graders that could go.
So you were just wide-eyed.
Just to be frank, but they weren't. I keep leaning into the mic.
You should lean into the mic.
I'm like, just keep this between us.
Just hello there.
But yeah, that was my first, and I don't regret it.
I'm gonna pause for a second and blow my nose if that's cool.
No. What? You cannot.
You can use the bathroom if you
You
need
cannot
to.
be a human right now.
We're back. Wardrobe change.
Mm-hmm.
Still in tie-dye. What else is new?
It's your favorite.
Yeah. It's a vibe.
Yeah, I like tie dye.
You can go to any Goodwill and find it for sure.
Definitely, 100%.
I don't remember what we were talking about before this.
Tie-twy.
Tie-twy?
We were talking about
Just about everything.
everything.
But like you said, for it's like therapy. It is like therapy, but podcasts are really just hanging out with somebody for a little while. Just having them talk in your ear.
It's
It's nice.
It's very chill, and you feel very you're just having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You're connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
It's
I need
great.
to connect more.
I'm glad you could do this. This is cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, I chose you because we had so much fun on that photo shoot. And I'll have those pictures for you soon. I've been so busy.
No, it's okay. Oh my God, it's okay. Do your thing.
I chose you because the last person I had I knew so well. I knew I've known him for 5-6 years at least.
Yeah.
But I had just met you and you had that vibe and I was just let's cut it up for the first time on that cool kids table.
Cool kids. kids. I never sat at the cool kids table in high school, so this feels cool.
That's why I made this podcast.
So all the cool kids can feel cool.
No, that's why, literally why I made this podcast is because that was Cool Kids Table has such an exclusive like energy around it.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd open my own Cool Kids Table for anybody to come share their perspectives or their stories or anything like that for the world to hear.
Yeah, I was not a cool kid, but I accepted it.
I think the kids that were not cool kids in high school turned out to be the coolest kids.
Yeah, I'm just
in
very
life.
complex, and no one, misunderstood in a sense. I don't even think I still feel understood till this day. It's just like a strange complex that you kind of hold with you.
That you don't feel understood?
Yeah, but I think a lot of people feel that way. Like I don't feel like special.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking when you had said that.
Yeah.
I think that there's kind of some beauty to that, to be kind of that unknown.
Yeah, it keeps you going.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing to keep you going. Yeah, you're like, I don't even understand my own self. Like I'm still figuring that out. I think you do till the last breath.
Yeah, no, that's the beauty of being a human and being a soul it's literally just this tunnel kind of that you just keep learning and keep learning and keep learning.
Yeah, I shock myself sometimes on the way that I act toward things. Like it's funny with acting, like you always try to get it to the biggest thing with acting is life experience, right? For me is what I think, like, live your life, and like that's kind of what works. If you're in a bubble and you don't see the world, there's not really much to you that you can give to a character. But I always try to find like these questions that I get asked, like, what do you want? What's your want? What did that? And I'm
what
like,
makes you get out of bed?
Yeah, like the thing is, a lot of times I don't know.
You wake up.
I just go.
Yeah.
It's how I'm designed. It's how we're designed as creatures, as these humanoids that we live in, as celestial beings into a body suit. Like you can think you know what you want, but really you don't. And you play it out that way. But in the end, you find out that it's something else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's more fun.
I think that's the best part.
I think that's what's more
That's
fun.
like the beauty, like we tie back to finding something.
Yeah.
Like you'll always be like, you could go buy that table that you want, or you could go buy those shoes that you want.
You can do anything.
But you'll end up coming across something that you love even more just for the fact that you found it and you came across it. I think that works with passions in life too. Yeah. It's like you want to do something for so long and you chase that dream, but all the stuff you learn on the way.
You can't put yourself in a box.
You can't.
You're going to find out that you don't fit there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like your goldfish is too big for its tank. You should probably get a new tank, man.
For sure. That bubbler ain't kicking it anymore.
It's not kicking in. Your algae's overgrown. Fish are really hard to take care of.
Fish are awful to take care of.
I don't want another one. I'm sorry.
That sounds like there's some trauma there.
I'm sorry. Why
are you apologizing to me?
I feel so
I'm not
bad
trying
for
to
saying
give you
that.
a fish.
I love creatures. I have one now, and I got it as a gift, and I love it. I love it a lot. Probably more than most people would love a fish. I just love anything that's in my life. Like I try to really take care of it.
That's beautiful.
Fish are so hard.
Oh, you got to constantly clean them.
Low maintenance, my ass.
Yeah, they're like one of the highest maintenance pets.
Yeah, you have to constantly, you have to really scientifically, you have to research this fish and know exactly.
What kind of fish do you have?
I have a beta fish.
Yeah, those are hard.
They say it's the low maintenance, but it's not. I do have trauma towards.
Did you teach it to jump through a hoop?
No, but he has this little house where he hides.
They have personality.
And then he'll come out.
They're
and
like
be
cats.
Hey.
They're the real catfish.
They have a lot of personality, and I think that's the reason why it was gifted to me, because of his personality.
They thought, oh, hey, you'll get along with my fish.
Yeah. Something like that. I mean, yeah, I had a couple of fish as a kid. My mom always killed them. But now having one myself, it's funny. I regret that anger toward her about a fish. I called her recently about it too.
Really?
I did. For some reason, that's such a petty thing to. It's not like I held on to it. It's just it was just there. I don't know, your body just attaches itself to even the lightest type of trauma. It's so lame. Like trauma could be anything for you. But
it could be an experience that triggers that. And it's weird that you can get trauma from things that you don't realize that you will have trauma with.
It sounds stupid talking about it because I actually have bigger traumas and everyone else has bigger traumas. Like we all have.
That's what blows my mind about reality is that you think that why are our brains so configured to think that we are so alone, but yet every human being experiences anxiety. Every human being experiences trauma, worry.
About this, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about this.
Oh my God, I've had this in my head. We feel so alone. It's the scariest place because we're obviously not. We are obviously not alone, and not even like in a human standpoint. Like I'm not saying like because we're not alone because obviously you're sitting right here, like. Like there are like billions of people.
No, you
in the
mean
world.
alone, like with how you're feeling and thinking.
Yeah, well, I mean with anything too.
Yeah.
Like we have dogs, we have pets. Like we're not truly alone. We aren't. But the feeling of feeling alone is very damaging. It's crazy. Like brains are so powerful.
I think that there's something that we'll never fully understand. Just like we were talking about earlier, how it keeps going deeper and deeper. Of life, of trying to figure it out. Yeah, no, it will go forever. It's like literally an infinite computer in your head.
It's like a black hole.
Yeah.
Isn't it recently that we discovered that there's actually other universes within a black hole?
Oh, yeah.
Like scientists somehow thought that black hole was it. It was just black darkness. Mm-hmm. How stupid. Well, let's use a different word. How crazy.
What's wrong with stupid?
That doesn't go well in the world anymore. It's not stupid because who knew,
Mm-hmm.
But how crazy is that? To just think that it ends. Like, yep, that's a black hole. Nothing to discover there.
It's going somewhere.
It's everything. It swallows things. So of course it still exists. It's just it's like the whole tree thing. Of course it still exists, but we just didn't discover it.
Yeah.
We weren't there to see it. So like, did a tree make sound if no one was around to hear it? If it fell in the middle of the woods? Yes, it did make a sound.
See, I like to think about like there's so much more to our everyday reality than we like to put on.
There is.
Like just even like right here, there's like another side to this that because like I'm really in tune with the universe. Like I see numbers all the time. Like there's so many synchronicities in my life, and it's just getting more and more and more. Like I'll be talking about something, and I'll put on an audiobook or a song, and the lyrics will correlate to exactly what I was just thinking about. Or like I'll ask the universe to like give me signs, and like it's funny. I have like this game. It's gonna sound crazy, but I have this like thing with like because I live in a lot of us live in studios in LA, and the studio I live in. I have a fan, a ceiling fan, and it's got like this really dim light that's put up in like its center light.
Yeah.
But I never use it because it's always dark. But I turn the fan on, and like whenever I feel like something resonates with me or like I have an idea or like I'm on the right track, that light will turn on its own. Or I'll come home after a long day and that light will be on.
Interesting.
And I like to think that that's the universe saying like, oh, we're here. Like whatever outer thing people call them, angels, spirits, whatever you call it, your ancestors, your guides.
Yeah.
I think that they find ways to show themselves to you if you ask.
Definitely. You just have to have the conscious, like you have to be aware. Mm-hmm. And then ask and you shall receive. Point blank. Yeah, it's so deep. It's crazy. Deja vu. This is a high thought. I actually thought of it when I was high, but I think it is pretty relevant into how we all feel now. And I'm sure everyone else feels this way as well. But it's so crazy how we are all more in tune with each other nowadays than we had ever been before. Like I don't remember when I was a kid, I see more and more days of us as a collective feeling the same way. Like if it had been a heavy day for you, guarantee there's like everyone of your friend group or like
100%.
wide collective of people felt as if it had been a weird day.
And I have firsthand experience with that. Like I'll have a week from hell that I'm feeling like shit.
Yeah.
And like that's the really interesting part about running podcasts for a living is how many people come and sit right here and do this.
Yeah.
And we just like everybody that came through that week was just like, yo, this week has been kind of a bitch.
It has been. This week has been crazy, but it's just strange because I don't remember it. I don't know if I think it's because we are more in tune with ourselves because of all the technology that's around us.
Oh, that's another way to put it. I thought you were going a different route.
Like, yeah, it could be like it is a synchronicity type of thing. Mm-hmm. And we, like I said earlier, we're all like, you've left a part of yourself with everyone else. And so like, small world type of meaning. But also I think I think it's on a different level. I think it is because of all the technology around us nowadays. Because we all kind of are in tune with each other. Like we see what we're doing constantly. We can just check it on an app. Because if it can be transferred this way, I'm sure it could be transferred that other way. Mm-hmm. So it's like we're just...
Oh, so you think that energy can be transferred through...
Definitely.
Social.
I listen to frequencies. Like if energy can be transferred through music, it can definitely be transferred through some type of technology because it keeps up with you. So the algorithm keeps up with what you're doing. Like, why else would it know to put a commercial or an ad on your phone and you had only just been talking about it with someone you were with and you never looked it up on your phone?
Really interesting.
Like they say it's just because it's like a shot in the dark. Like it's just like, it's science, it's easy. I think there's a lot more to it. I guess what I'm trying to say is we all feel a certain way, mm-hmm. And we're more in tune with it than we had ever been because what I mean by saying we're so close to technology is that we're all so close to figuring out that there's much more involved in this little Truman show that we're living in.
Yeah.
That, we should
That's really interesting.
Kind of, I don't know.
I think that we're closer than ever.
We are closer than ever. I mean, it's all in our hands. It's all here. It's up to you to figure out if you believe it or not, or what you believe in or not.
That becomes your reality, your perspective.
Yeah. Or like, I also feel there's a difference between belief and understanding.
Oh, 100%.
I know a lot of people stray away from knowing certain things because their belief system is so strong that I think the fear of that is that they would believe in something else as well that they don't want to. Mm-hmm. But it's not like you're not going to believe in it. It's just like I listen to conspiracies and
that stuff is so I'll be the first to admit because that's so fascinating.
I think it's fascinating. I love every aspect, every side, every story, I like all the details. Like I said, I'm an investigator. We get into human design. I am an investigator type, so I like to know all of it, and I decide what resonates with me the most and what doesn't. So it's just more of an understanding. I live in an understanding type of ground. Mm-hmm. Others are quick to judge.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I live my life going through every day by what feels like just like how you said, what resonates with me, like making decisions on like career or even what I wear. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, this feels right. For some reason I need to wear this today.
Yeah. And I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I really don't.
I don't think anybody knows what the fuck they're doing.
I like to play off of, and it's not perfect every time, but I do like to play off of what feels good.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
For me, yeah. Because I think I just lost like a job, a part-time job. And I had so many people scared for me that I think I was tricking myself into
being afraid,
being scared. I was like, oh no, like, what am I going to do? But really I wasn't. I felt more free than I had in a long time. Mm-hmm. And like, it's like, like ebb and flow, like things are going to drop off, but things also pick up. But it's true. Like this person, I had someone literally like very scared for me. They're like, I'm worried about you. Like, I want you to be happy. And I'm like, it's just a part-time job.
Yeah, it's just a job.
Like, it's not really that crucial. And now I have another. Like, it's just kind of like, that's a very impermanent
it's such a replaceable
side of my life. Yeah, that it's not the most important thing to me. It's scary. especially in this city.
Yeah.
It's really hard to live in this city. But it's almost more comfortable for me to feel that way. I think my brain works better in that type of survivalist way.
Oh, yeah. And that's the unknown. Have you heard of the idea of entropy?
Entropy, no.
Entropy is the natural order of the universe to to fall apart. The universe likes things not to be in order. It likes it to be all over the place, scattered. So like it will go from order to disorder is basically what entropy is. Now, I believe that philosophy can be put into our lives because as the universe started from the Big Bang, like it was all in order and boom, into a mess. And that's how new things came about.
You have to.
But I think that idea of randomness is where magic can happen because like, oh, you like you said, you lost your job. It like something that was so solid that or whatever that was like a thing fell apart. And that in that randomness, I think that's where magic can happen and something new, beautiful that's meant for you will come out of that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
I don't know if I worded that the best way.
You worded it beautifully. You did a great job. I understood what you meant. I wasn't even happy in that job. Like, who's happy in a part-time job? They fired me because of, I think I made them uncomfortable because I wanted to do the things that made me happy. That's crazy. It's weird. It's a really weird place to be in. Like, yeah, I will go out and do the projects that I want to do and create with people that I love, who I admire and who I'm going to learn from. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to go see family. Those are the things that make
That's
me
what's important to you.
Feel full and whole. So if that is a problem for you, goodbye. I don't really know. But I mean, it takes a long time for me to understand that though. I have this loyalty to me as well. And I'm also a human, so I do have that fear of like needing to be secure and having it together.
Yeah.
So
that's really, I like that. That was good. No, it's just so interesting to learn all of these things about you.
I need a hook right now.
I'm lost.
Old theater.
Oh, to pull you out?
The hook, yeah.
Does that mean you want to rap?
No, I was just like, I'm going crazy. That I'm just like off the rails right now.
I mean, you kind of go like that when you listen to your own voice for so long.
It's a pretty weird thing. ADR is pretty creepy.
EDR?
ADR. When you go back, when you're filming something and the sound wasn't really picked up on a shot, so you go back into a booth and you have to do ADR, so you like record your voice over your voice. Yeah, and then they
put that over, yeah.
It's always such an interesting, you're like, did I actually sound like that? Golly. Scary.
I always wondered what that was.
ADR.
You can see it so easily in movies.
That they did that. It's really hard to blend. It really sucks when you have to go back to do ADR, unless it's like voiceover type of thing, but yeah.
It's the same thing when you're shooting something and you get like shaky. Can't do anything about it. Can't do a damn thing.
You're like, guess these are blur photos.
Yeah, these are blurry, but you like those photos.
I
like
do.
When all of the photos from that shoot, you were just like the blurry ones. I kind of want to send you all of them just for you to pick the ones that you like.
You should do that. I would, yeah.
I mean, I do that with almost every person I shoot with. I just, like you had said, just do your own thing.
I know,
but
I
know that I'm going to love the ones that you pick probably more than the ones. Because, like, I'm in the same mindset of, like, oh, I like this, I like this. But, like, it's kind of like the same thing of finding something. You bringing pictures that are different, I could learn something from that.
Yeah, I'll help you. It wasn't like, this is it, nothing else.
No, I wasn't going that route. I'm just excited to see what you see.
I'm excited to see them. I do like blurry, because that's how it feels. The world is dizzy. So
it's constantly moving.
It's like the new, hello, is that a mouse in your house?
Did you bring that chair with you?
Santa?
Is that ghost? Oh,
Santa. Well, anyways,
it's one. Look at the time on the
111. 111. Make a wish. I saw 888 twice pulling
That's
in
a
here.
really good number.
And then I saw 888 right before I pulled in here. So I do live by angel numbers.
Oh, I do too.
I have a creepy story about angels too, and I never knew how connected I was.
Let's hear it.
The first, I can't wait to be a grandmother. I want to be the best grandma.
Oh, I am the same way. I can't wait to be like that, like a dad or a grandfather, because like I've just so many dad jokes. Number one,
Yeah.
and just less like teaching people shit and stories.
I just want to be the grandma who goes out in the middle of lunch and smokes a joint and comes back and they're like, "Let me tell you a story." The other day I was walking. I don't think I would sound like that. I hope it's a more peaceful voice, but I have this connection to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was born, wow, I'm going so deep with you.
Hey, it's
when late night podcast, that's what she said. How old are we?
Do we have to ADR that?
That's that maple
That's
drip.
Epic.
When I was born, my mother went through a lot of complications. It's almost as if I was born a month early. Something was wrong with the nutrients that I was receiving. I wasn't really receiving as much. And then she had been C-sectioned. So many complications. They cut her too deep, like flatlined a couple of times.
Oh, geez.
Almost did not make it. I'm glad I have a mom though, but she almost did not make it. So with that being said, my grandmother took care of me for a while because my mother hadn't even held me yet.
Yeah.
She couldn't because they had messed her up so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So my grandmother was the first person to hold me.
Oh, wow.
That connection. I think that's a very important connection. It's a very, we're still animals.
Oh, I read something about that a little bit ago, that we're programmed when we come out of the womb, the first face that we see is permanently stored. Because I
wonder who that
eyes
doctor is. Oh boy.
Because that's why as humans we recognize faces in so many different things. Like you look at your coffee, the cream is making a smiley face, or you know what I'm talking about.
I have that
all
syndrome.
Throughout the place.
I think it's a blessing. I see faces in everything. I have so many pictures of random items and objects in the world that I'm like, that was a face. And it's like a creepy looking cute face. And I kept it in my phone.
You should make a book out of that.
I probably
that would be
could.
an awesome coffee table book.
Yeah, just random faces throughout objects. And I will, sure. I'll collect it.
I want it.
I'll make a
want
zine.
The first one.
I'll make a zine and I also write poetry. So I'll just put poetry throughout it.
Look at you.
There we go.
Watch that. That will get on.
You gave me my new career.
I want the first copy.
Sounds great. I'll give it to you. I'll just make one.
Just one?
Just for
you. You have to have one for yourself, too.
I'll remember.
You have all that?
But, yeah, so my grandmother was the first person to hold me. But she had shortly passed away. This gets heavy, but I'm not heavy about it. So I hope you don't get heavy about it. Just a story.
Yeah.
You're like, duh.
We're at the cool kids table. Nothing's too heavy.
I keep saying sorry.
You don't need to keep up.
How southern am I? I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
I bump into someone. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I'm got the Michigan. Oh. When I bump into somebody, I'm like, oh.
They're like, what?
Dude.
Did you just fart?
I do it all the time and I hate it. I bump into people, or you do that damn thing when you're walking forward to somebody and you do the back and forth.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Who's gonna get there first? You want to dance? I've done that to someone. I've been like, "Thanks for dancing with me." Made them feel
I love that.
So uncomfortable.
I love that.
That was a fun dance. Anyway.
So your grandmother.
My grandmother. Yeah, Jean Margaret Rose. Such a great name. What? That's wrong. Jean Margaret France. That's actually her name.
Well, it was
Sorry,
still a
Grandma.
wonderful name.
Sorry, Grandma.
But what was...
I never met her. She just held me when I was a kid. But a lot of her is like me. Like my mother always used to tell me, like when I was a kid, like, oh, you're just like your grandma. You're just like your grandma. So my grandmother's from England. Somewhere in the northern side, like a small town in England. And then she like ballroom danced, like did theater, always played like the male character, because back in the day I assumed like a lot of women couldn't do theater. It was mainly just like a man-driven
Yeah.
type of art, which is impressive. I'm like, go grandma. But then she got a part of the military somehow, and that's how she met my grandfather. But she passed away, my first memory ever, actually. She passed away when I was, and it stayed with me forever. She passed away when I was about, I'd say like 2 or something. And I remember, and it's foggy too. It's like it's like a dream, but I lived it actually, and it's fact. I remember being in this hospital room, and she's on like her deathbed essentially, and I felt frightened, like I felt scared, and I was holding a yellow rose, and I look back at my mom. I see my mom's face. She's like sad, and she's like, "Go ahead, give it to her." And I lay down this rose, and her hand was so cold, like it was her last few breaths. Her hand was so cold, and I gave it to her, and that was her favorite flower, my favorite flower, obviously. I've never fucking gotten that flower from a boyfriend. I don't know what that is. It's a shtick. It's like this shtick that you can't give a lover a yellow rose.
Is it?
It's yellow means friendship and the color of roses, and red is the romantic one. I'm telling you, everyone, give me a fucking yellow rose.
I got you.
I love yellow roses. But fast forward to why I'm saying this, because it relates to angels and like feeling that way. She had an angel collection, just a bunch of trinkets of angels.
Oh, I honestly forgot where this story was going.
Angel numbers, yeah. Aren't you glad that I remembered?
Yeah. What a terrible host.
No, I'm just kidding. Such a good. I'm just a girl. I give you every detail, and there's a reason why.
Well, I'm interested. I'm just sitting.
The collection had been passed down to me, and it just had been in my room forever, like my childhood room. Grew up with it. I even have an angel I took with me out here from that collection. It was important, you know. But I had started seeing angel numbers in Nashville before moving out here. And that was something that I didn't.
Yeah. They just start coming.
I wasn't aware. And the floodgates opened. So I did this energy reading one time. And I had always had this fascination with my grandmother, but didn't really know all the story about it. I had this energy healing reading kind of over the phone, but some of the things they said really stuck with me. It was crazy. They read my aura. And you have certain layers of your aura. And then within that, you have a rose that builds. So your rose is kind of your soul. And everyone has a different shape, different color, different thorns.
Yeah.
If roots are growing, if you're grounded, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all different for everyone. And they read my rose. And my rose was a yellow rose, which tripped me out. Because they don't know my story.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They don't know my fascination of yellow.
That's wild.
What that is. My rose was a yellow rose. It had a lot of roots. The stem wasn't very long, but it had a lot of roots. The roots were like growing out of the ground. I'm not really sure what all of that means, but I guess I'm grounded. Hopefully. But they were reading in my aura. A lot of times, what I'm going with this is a lot of times people could get stuck in your aura, like people who are holding you back or things that you need to let go of in order to succeed or move forward or heal in your life. And these women, I remember on the phone specifically, they gasped. They were like, oh. And I was like, what? Like doctors.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? Like,
is that a good awe or a
what
bad
is going
awe?
on? They were like, this is strange, because normally when we find something or someone stuck in your aura in this certain layer, we normally have to, you know, like instruct people to help heal from it or to help get rid of, or like we can help you move past it. But this one's different. This one is not that. And they had just been naming off different things and being like, have you had someone pass away, blah, blah, blah. Essentially, it ended up being my grandmother. And they were trying to tell me that I have a guardian angel and it's my grandmother. And I don't know why, but for some reason, like, you know, people can tell you what they want to tell you, but that feeling, like seeing a ghost, like I had that feeling, just tears fell from my eyes. And I was like, wow, they were like, you're protected by her. Like, you know, you can ask her what you want and you go through life, but she's not going to tell you this or that. She's just going to support you with anything that you do. So she's not hindering you in any way.
Yeah.
What was weird about that was I told my mom, and she started telling me stories that she had never told me before. This goes back to angels, I promise.
No, I've just got a crazy angel story
Keep
to
it.
follow up with this.
Keep it, please. I want to hear it. But she started crying. And my mother is a very stoic woman, military brat, like very angry.
Yeah.
If any emotion was shown was anger. She starts crying on the phone and she was like, that's so funny and weird because she regrets that she wasn't the first person that got to hold me. Like that's a regret for her. But I don't think of it as a regret. I love her.
Yeah.
She's very special to me. She's my mom. But she was like when I was a kid and when my grandmother had first passed away, I would look up all the time and smile. And she'd be like, "What's going on? Like, why are you smiling?" And she'd ask me, and I'd be like, "Grandma's okay." And she'd be like, "What?" And apparently I had said that she was an angel and she was looking over me.
That's beautiful.
And I don't remember that, and she had never told me that before. And I was like, "Well, thanks."
That's so epic.
For finally telling me, but the story gets deeper, darker. The first times I started seeing angel numbers was my grandfather's death. So I started seeing like 555, which is like my number.
Change.
Like, yeah, I was born 5:15, 5:35 p.m. So it didn't really mean much to me. I was like, I love fives. But I started seeing it when I started dating Sam, which is funny because that only a couple months of us dating, like my life had changed so much. I was still in Nashville at this time, but the second number that I had saw was 9. And I almost have like a fear of it still, but I'm still trying to not have a fear of it. But I had seen 999. And then I started looking it up, and I actually had a friend come up to me. I was like worried about it because I looked it up and it meant completion, like an ending to a beginning, destruction. Yeah, like all of that. And I think this one person at my job that I was working at, like I was working at a restaurant somewhere, and she was like, I sense this energy about you. She was kind of only like, she was very LA for Nashville at the time. But I had started seeing 999, and I saw it for a couple of weeks. And then after I had that on my mind, I was like, completion, ending, and change scares me as who I am as a person. I love change and I love the other side of it, but through it is very, I think I'm getting better at it now, but it's hard for me.
No, it's very interesting that you say change, like you're afraid of 9. Motorcycle.
Pause.
I kind of feel that way about 5.
You feel that way about 5?
Little bit, because like
I love 5.
Like I started seeing that number a lot. Like my life has been nothing but change for the past like
it's been
several months, and like there was a point like maybe 2-3 months ago that like I was seeing 5 everywhere. 4 or 5 sometimes. Like
4 or 5 sometimes. I get 4s now.
I get 4s.
Like they're yelling at me.
I see all of them. 4s.
They're yelling at me. The angels.
Yeah.
Like, you're like,
no,
shut
they yell at you.
Fuck up.
But
like, no, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
But like, I would see that and I'm just like, holy shit! Like, hold on for dear life, because like I went through so much. I went through a breakup. I like
hold on for dear life.
That's something I'm going to touch on in a second. But like I was having like problems a little bit at work, and like I just didn't have my shit together, and like so much had changed that turned into such beautiful things that to make me the person that like I'm a different person than I think I was 3 months ago. But like when I start seeing a lot of 5s, I'm just like, holy crap! Like, do I have it in me to go through this roller coaster again?
Yeah.
And like, it's crazy because I don't know if you ever think like, because you said you're aligned.
It's what you think.
Does like the songs that you really like give you goosebumps that like you really really like? Their message sometimes relates to what you're going through.
Obviously, yeah, definitely.
And right before all of this happened, like one of my favorite songs was literally "Hang On for Dear Life."
Oh yeah.
And like I still listen to that. I'm just like, I felt like I was in a roller coaster. It's crazy.
That's funny. I do believe that it is what you think, though. Like they say all these things are like this, but I think the reason why I'm not afraid of 9 anymore. But I'll tell you why. I get let's say this and then get over it. We'll get into this.
This story.
This story of the angel numbers being introduced to me, but it is a whole destruction order to new. So I had seen 5s with 9s, right? 9. I get a call from my mom at work. This is right after my coworker like had sensed my energy was different, and that 9. She told me what 9 meant. My grandfather had passed away, which is crazy to me because this man wanted to live till 100. He was very adamant. This man is so resilient. Was he the best guy? No, but it's crazy. I have no grandparents left, and he was the only one I had, and I still had yet to figure him out. You know, like you want to know them so much because these are part of your people. Like, they're a part of you. But this man shot himself in the leg because he was getting old and paranoid, and he survived that. But I still don't even know the cause of death for him. But that was a moment.
Sorry to hear this.
Well, it's fine. It's like a part of life, you know. But so what I'm saying is, it gets wild because entropy. Because my mother so she cremated him. Yeah. And this was the first time that I was opening up to my mom about what was happening to me because I felt so in tuned and attached to these numbers and what had been happening to me that I was like, I have to tell my mom. Like, I have to tell her what's going on, right? She had just come back from the cremation area, and, you know, they give you a price and how much it is. I tell her the story about the 9s. Again, she starts crying. This is the most emotion I've seen out of my mom this entire ride, these past few years of my life. She starts crying because the total of how much it costs to get my grandfather cremated to the T was $999.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah. She was like, are you fucking kidding? Even I was very tripped out. And honestly, the day of me moving out here to LA, what I did that day, that morning, I went to spread my grandfather's ashes. And that night, I finished packing, hopped in my car, and drove all the way out here.
Oh my God, I got a story for you.
Isn't that crazy? That was the 5.
Well, I can relate. I can relate to you with this because right before I moved to Los Angeles, my dad passed. And I was living with him, and like I was planning to move to LA. I had to sell a whole house.
About that.
No, I appreciate it's part of life. Like
I know, but I'm just saying you have to. Like for human,
you do. But yeah, no, like we had him cremated, and I had to move out here, and like
you had him cremated.
Yeah.
Keep going.
But so we drove so like long story short, I met I guess it's not a long story short, but I met Mark like the day after my dad died, and like I went and shot a promo for his film, yada yada yada. I'm moving to Los Angeles, and we on our ride out here, I was driving with my best friend, my first friend, out across the country. I was pulling a trailer in my 4-cylinder Jeep. It was a lot of work because we drove. I thought it would take a lot less, but I didn't realize we had to go 60 because it was such a small motor. But I was spreading the ashes. Like I had to spread his ashes in Utah. I don't know why, but I just had that calling. Yeah. And I spread his ashes there. But when I first started seeing angel numbers is when I got to Los Angeles. Like I started seeing them everywhere once I was here. And I started seeing the number 1, 2, 3 along with the triple digits. And I started seeing this number everywhere. And I'm like, why? What is this number? And I'm like, I was racking my brain. I'm just like, I Googled it, and it's just like, oh, growth. And I'm like, there's got to be something different here. And I'll never forget, I was driving one day, and I've had psychics always tell me, like, your dad's really close to you.
The lights just turned on.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Dad's here.
Hi, Dad. I've never met you, but you're that's cool.
But I will never forget.
That's your light. Your dad's with you.
Oh, I know.
For sure, all the time.
When I was driving when I was driving one day in LA, I remember this so clearly. It hit me. I was like, 1, 2, 3 is Dad's birthday, December 3rd, 12/3. And it clicked, and I looked at the clock, and it was 444.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just like,
you can look up birthdays too. That's a part of angel.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they could be.
Yeah, people who are close to you.
Did they really turn on?
Yeah, they turned brighter.
That's crazy.
A light turned on. Something got brighter. I saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how it happens. Isn't that crazy?
I love it. I live for those little moments.
I know. Wow. Ooh, that even gave me a bit of goosebumps. Like, that's wild. That's crazy how similar our stories are. A death that was cremated and our journey.
On our journey to live in Los Angeles, where angel numbers, we both started seeing them.
I think we figured out why we were supposed to meet. Yeah. Our journey is kind of
pretty crazy.
same.
Our journeys are, yeah.
Whoa.
Wild.
I'm shook.
Welcome to the Cool Kids table.
I'm shooketh. The maple
Shooketh.
drip.
The
And
maple
that's how the
drip.
maple drips.
I look better. What did you say? You look better in someone else's dress.
Yeah, I look better in someone else's dress.
With the maple drip on the chair.
Maple drip. You'll find them. You're gonna listen. I'm sorry that you have to look at this. I think that was a beautiful way to end that.
I think it was a great way. Thank you so much for joining us at the Cool Kids table. Where can they find you on social?
On social. I only have an Instagram.
That works just fine. That camera's yours.
Hi. You just look up my name, Lestonja Diaz, and my ad is literally just Stonj.
STONJ.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's probably easier if you look up my name, Lestonja Diaz.
And you can find me, Siebenwa Photo, on Instagram, Siebenwa36 as well. And you can find this at the Cool Kids Table podcast on Instagram, on YouTube as well. And I just made a TikTok today, as well as Spotify, iHeartMusic. What else? What other
Everything.
Apple, all the streaming platforms, you can find us. But, well, thank you so much for being a cool kid, and excited to continue these stories with you.
Oh my God, thank you so much for having me. This was kind of a blast.
It was a blast. It's like therapy.
Therapy sesh.
And with that, we're out.